All right, so here we are, the final film in Christopher Nolan's epic trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises. But this is so much more than just a superhero finale. It's a really deep dive into what power is, the limits of wealth, and what it truly takes to be a hero when everything you have is stripped away.
And that brings us to the big question for today, a question the film throws at us right from the get-go. In a world that so often says money equals influence, what happens when all that money is just gone? What's the real source of power?
To figure out the film's answer, we've got to start here, in Gotham City, 8 years after the chaos of The Dark Knight. I mean, on the surface, everything looks great. The city's thriving. But behind the scenes, Bruce Wayne is completely disappeared. He's become a recluse.
But here's the thing, this stability? It's not real. It's a fragile quiet that's been held together by one massive lie, the cover-up of Harvey Dent's crimes. It's a secret that's been eating away at Commissioner Gordon, and it's allowed a deep, ugly rot to fester just underneath the city's success.
And this is exactly how the film sets up its main conflict. See, unlike the other movies, The Dark Knight Rises puts Bruce Wayne, the billionaire, right under the microscope. It's actively asking us, is his fortune, the very thing that pays for Batman, a force for good? Or is it just a symbol of the massive inequality that's about to tear Gotham to pieces?
While that fragile piece is about to be absolutely shattered, two new figures crawl out of the woodwork, and each one is a direct result of Gotham's hidden problems. You've got the revolutionary, Bane, and the master thief, Selina Kyle.
And here you see the two major forces about to slam into Gotham's elite. On one side, you have Bane. He's this powerhouse driven by ideology, leading a whole army. And on the other, you have Selina Kyle. She's a product of pure economic desperation, a survivor whose only power comes from her wits and her will to escape a system that's got her trapped.
This warning from Selina Kyle? Wow. It's not just a threat. It's basically the film's entire argument about class warfare laid out right there. She is calling out the cozy, insulated world of Gotham's one-percenters, and she's telling them an uprising is coming, fueled by everyone who's been left with, as she says, so little.
And you know, the film gets its depth from some pretty serious literary DNA. Nolan actually pointed to Charles Dickens's famous novel about the French Revolution, A Tale of Two Cities, as a huge inspiration. And yeah, a lot of critics at the time saw parallels to the Occupy movement, but Nolan always said he was trying to tell a bigger story about how societies crack, not make a specific political point.
So what happens when that storm she warned about finally hits? This is where the film's message about power really comes into focus. Because all of Bruce Wayne's biggest advantages, his money, his tech, his whole company, are about to be turned against him and made completely useless.
Bane's takedown of Batman is brutal. And it's not just physical, it's philosophical. And this line, it's just devastating. Because it's true, Bruce has gotten comfortable. He really believed his past victories and his piles of money could protect him forever. He got lazy, relying on all his stuff, and that's precisely what made him weak.
Bane's whole strategy here is just dripping with symbolism. He doesn't just attack people, he attacks the institutions of wealth and power. The stock exchange, the football stadium, these are the playgrounds of the rich. By turning them into weapons, he proves that money offers zero real protection when a society is about to collapse from the inside out.
And the result is Batman's complete and utter defeat. I mean, he doesn't just lose a fight, he is fundamentally broken. Bane takes his money through a shady stock market scheme, he literally breaks his body, and he shatters his spirit, leaving him with absolutely nothing that used to define him.
This throws Bruce into his darkest moment, which, funny enough, is also the start of his true comeback. He gets tossed into this primitive underground prison called the Pit, and there he has to find a totally new kind of power, one that has nothing to do with money or gadgets.
The way this prison tortures people is unique. It's not the darkness that breaks them, it's the light. It's the visible hope of escape, always just out of reach, that poisons their souls and creates this feeling of absolute, true despair.
So his escape is all about this spiritual journey. He fails over and over again trying to climb out with a safety rope because deep down he knows he's safe. It's only when he fully embraces the fear of death, by climbing without the rope, that he finally finds the strength to make that impossible jump. The movie is basically shouting that true power comes from will, not from a safety net.
So Bruce is reborn, and he returns to Gotham not just as a guy in a suit, but as a true symbol. And this is where the film delivers its biggest message. The most powerful thing you can do isn't about what you have, it's about what you're willing to give away.
And that really gets to the moral heart of the entire trilogy, doesn't it? Across all three movies, the greatest thing you can be isn't rich or strong. It's selfless. It's the willingness to sacrifice yourself for other people, a principle Bruce is about to take to the absolute extreme.
This quiet moment between them is one of the most powerful in the whole movie. Selina, who's always been the pragmatist, the survivor, she tells him, "You've given them everything." But Bruce, who's now on a different level, just says, "Not yet." He knows there's one last thing he has to give.
And this is it. This is the ultimate sacrifice. By flying that nuclear bomb away from the city, Bruce Wayne, the man, dies, so that Batman, the symbol of hope, can live on forever. He gives it all up, his identity, his fortune, and his life, just to save Gotham.
So, let's circle all the way back to our original question. Here's the film's final answer. Material wealth? It's fragile. It can vanish in a second. Real, lasting power is internal. It's forged in your spirit, it's powered by a will that just won't quit, and it's proven through the ultimate act of sacrifice.
In the end, The Dark Knight Rises leaves us with this one final, powerful question. In a world that is still very much dealing with inequality and the huge influence of wealth, the film suggests that a real hero isn't the person with the most stuff. It's the person who's willing to give everything they have for something bigger than themselves.